OMG, did you just suck at that TV or radio interview? If your media appearance went sideways, get in touch to request a free review. Just send us the video or audio, and our friendly experts will give you some ego-massaging feedback. Just Google Marvellous Media Training to find out more.
Hi, I'm Steve Blears, this time on the Media Training Podcast. Opinions are great. They show people who we are and what we stand for. A mistake would be to give a long, rambling anecdote about everything that happened. Don't do that. Here I am right now, dishing it out. We're talking about profile interviews. Now, profile interviews are generally longer and can focus on your life, career, beliefs, achievements, personality, and aim to give the audience a deeper understanding of who you really are. Now, I'm doing this episode because MJ has been in touch, and she's a model based in the USA. Hello, MJ. And she sent me a fashion magazine profile interview that she appeared in called The State of Plus-Sized Fashion. There's a link in the show notes if you want to read it. Now, MJ's issue was, well, she felt the interview was just a bit meh. It didn't really do her justice. And she asked me, how could she have done it better? Now, I've already sent her my tips and she's agreed to let me share them with you. So here are my 5 ideas to inject some sparkle into profile interviews. Let's get started. Number 1, share personal stories and challenges. Now, this means make sure you offer anecdotes and stories about yourself. Make them specific challenges that you faced and overcame, because this helps you resonate much more deeply with the audience. Now, you might think this seems obvious, but interviewees, whether in print or broadcast media, often hint at something really interesting about themselves and then leave everyone hanging because they just don't offer any detail. And this is what happened with MJ. So in MJ's article, we hear how in her first year at college, she lost almost 40 pounds in weight, was immediately signed by a model agency. She then started working, but also had time for college classes. That's it. No more detail. What? Now, there's a lot to process here. How did you manage to lose 40 pounds? How were you discovered as a model? How did you possibly juggle all of this and still study? You can't just leave your audience just hanging there. This, of course, is partly the journalist's fault. It's their job to dig a little deeper, and that didn't happen. Now, when offering this level of detail, a mistake would be to give a long, rambling anecdote about everything that happened. Don't do that. That said, we do need pithy examples we can visualize that bring a story to life. So, how strict was that diet? What exactly did you eat? How exactly were you signed up as a model and where? How were you scouted? What was it like on your first shoot? You get the idea. Where is the colour? Where is the detail and interest? Okay, idea number 2 to inject some interest into profile interviews. And this is to highlight your key achievements. Highlight your key achievements. This is another opportunity to paint pictures with your experience and the brilliant things you've done. So MJ's article continues, quote, a memorable gig was flying out to Cape Town, South Africa for a shoot. Again, that's it. No more detail. Okay, that's pretty cool. Shame there's no more detail. What happened when you got there? What are the attitudes to plus-size models in South Africa? Also, South Africa is an amazing place, but is also known to pose some challenges and potential risks to tourists. What happened when you were there? So, in summary, if you're going to mention an achievement, elaborate on it, showcase your career highlights. And this goes for whether you're a model or an accountant. Idea number 3 to make profile interviews more interesting. Consider offering practical advice. This is sometimes called take-homes. People love tips and advice. If you've been successful, others will want to hear your shortcuts and advice. In your interview, MJ, you suggest there should be programs geared towards helping rising faces navigate the industry, and that's a great idea. But what are your specific tips for aspiring plus-size models, such as how to find a supportive agency, navigating castings, staying self-confident even. If you're, perhaps a token plus-size model at a fashion show, how do you handle that? People will want to know these things. Whatever your background, people love advice. Here I am right now dishing it out myself, and I'm guessing you think it's brilliant, or at least I hope so. Sharing how you do stuff and offering actionable insights are super valuable to readers, viewers, and listeners. So that's tip number 3. Next, tip number 4 for an interesting profile interview. Share your future goals. What's around the corner for you? What trends do you see that others haven't? How will you maintain your success and keep going? So MJ, the article you appeared in was, what is the state of plus-size fashion? Great. Well, where, in your opinion, is plus-size fashion going? Opinions are great. They show people who we are and what we stand for. Now, I'm not talking about being opinionated. Use your experience and wisdom to make a judgment call and comment on things that matter in your industry. Okay, time for my final tip, number 5, for great profile interviews. What is your call to action? What do you want people to think, feel, do after reading, hearing, or watching you? So in MJ's case, she could encourage readers and viewers to support inclusive brands, participate in body positive campaigns. She could suggest involvement with initiatives or organizations that support body diversity in fashion. You get the idea. So those are my top 5 tips for profile interviews. If you get the chance to do one, make the most of it. At Marvelous Media Training, we help leaders become confident on-air communicators so you can share your expertise and the great work you do. Drop me a line, hello@bitfamous.co.uk. Thanks for listening.